a red one.
Okay.
Y'all, I keep hearing how the Virgo Venus is supposed to be really good for me.
Did you hear anything good about for me?
Yeah, I mean, a couple stuff, but obviously it's in my first house, so it's like better for me.
Well, you know, the Leo Venus was actually in my first house and wasn't too good for me, was it? No.
Well, I'm just going to embrace it all.
Right,
That's what I did. No, it could be good for you, Mariah. Do you have anything in your first house, though, is the question?
No, my first house is empty. I just have my rising sign.
Maybe it'll be like a really chill good time for you. Like it brings good like healthy routines and some more like discovery of self, you know.
Yeah, I heard that it's supposed to be really good on like my identity and like routines and like what I want for myself.
Yeah, I feel like I wish they would have said that more for the Leo risings. They were like Leo and Venus and Leo is going to be like awesome for you to find love or whatever the fuck. And I was like,
which I think is wild considering it went retrograde too.
Well, just the fact that Venus is in my first house, I feel like that doesn't mean that I'd find love. Maybe like my physical presence could bring about more connections, but like I don't know.
Yeah, if anything, I would argue that moving forward, so like the Leo Venus could really help with your like self identity and what you want, what you are, who you are, what you want from this life. And then now that it's transitioning to Virgo, which is your second house, like we kind of move a little bit into like now we're looking at relationships, and then we move forward to the third house. And I think that it's more than likely that you would find it post the Leo Venus.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be in this town. I want it to be full screen.
But obviously the Virgo Venus is going to make you really nitpicky, so I think it would come, if anything, after that. And Kaylin did say mid-November.
She said mid-November, so.
Which, let me double-check when we switch to Libra Venus, which is obviously going to be an immaculate time.
It's November 7th, isn't it?
Let me double-check. November 8th is the last day of Virgo and Venus, so sometime on the 8th. You were close.
I was close.
So that'll be the time where we're girly popping with our lip gloss.
Yeah, Mariah's Libra Venus is going to be out here stunting. But you know what? After Libra comes Scorpio, and that's going to be during my birthday month, Scorpio Venus. And then my Sag Venus will be in January, so.
We're popping off. It sounds like the rest of the summer is like actually hot girl, or the rest of the year is actually like a hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer, but in the winter.
Yeah, it's hot girl winter because those Venus signs are immaculate.
I know, that's pretty good back-to-back, like Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. Like, that sounds good to me.
Kaylin.
I got us ready and in the mood.
Kaylin said she's tired of talking about Virgo Venus.
No, I didn't.
Kaylin said when you start saying, like, planets names and big transit names, I get
Well, Kaylin, I'll give you a quick cliff notes. Your Virgo's in your 6th house, which is about daytime health routine. Virgo Venus is a prime time for you to figure out a good routine for yourself and your life and what you want. This is like perfect for you.
No, but Kaylin's Virgo house is her 10th house. Her 10th house is Virgo.
You're correct. Sorry, Kaylin. Now is the best time. You are correct. Now is the best time for you to think about your like life goals and dream job and what kind of routines you need to put into position for that.
You're totally right.
Yep.
Like not having a vinyl record player in time.
Yep, exactly. Instead of a vinyl record player, we're investing in your store. That is correct, Kaylin. Woo!
And she has her North Node in Virgo in her 10th house.
Kaylin, this is awesome. This is an awesome time for you to really focus on what you want and what kind of routines you need for your art store.
For your life purpose.
You better pull out that planner, pull out those notes, write down everything you could think of that's going to help you with your art store.
Because your North Node's in it.
I think what's hard is patience.
Yeah, you have to remember patience. Miss Sag Rising, that's going to be really difficult for you. But it's okay. We're here to remind you that it's an investment. Just like when you tell me I'm applying to jobs, I want them to invest in me. And we want the universe to invest in you with these movements. And, you know, Virgo energy, really focus on what you love to do in that 10th house. Mm-hmm. It is a long-term investment. But if you can't get your keychains right now, maybe there's other things, other research that you could be doing right now to get you there so that you can still fill the void of just waiting for your keychains to get here.
Mariah, Venus just went through Leo, and I have a Leo North Node. Then it just got into Virgo, and Kaylin has a Virgo North Node, and now it's going to be going into Libra after that, and you have a Libra North Node. All those back-to-back, that is not coincidental. We were meant to meet one another.
Yeah, we're all learning from Kinsey.
No, it's not about me going first. I'm saying, can you believe that our North Nodes had transits all back-to-back?
That is true. And then right now, the South Node is in Libra, and then next it'll be in Virgo, which would affect Kaylin, and then after that it'll be in whatever the hell yours is
Well, yeah,
in.
because right now, no. So the South Node being in Libra right now is affecting your North Node,
Yep.
and then when it gets into
Unearth.
Virgo, it'll affect her North Node.
Yep.
But my
Yes.
South Node is Aquarius, so
Dang. Why are you so far away? It's okay.
like it won't affect me for a while.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome. Kaylin, I think you should just find some good research and videos and stuff while you're doing it.
Yeah, I agree, and I have already been like mindset thinking about it. I just don't want to. I want to. I just don't want to be patient about it. I
Well,
want it to
that's okay.
happen.
We're going to only get more Virgo and more Libra energy in the next week. Kinsey and I looked at the transits, and it's going to be mad Libra, mad Virgo energy, which the Libra's going to fight it because you have a Libra Mars. You got pushed through that Libra Mars, Kaylin.
Like
Yeah, I
imagine
have a Libra Mars too, so I'm really struggling with it too.
imagine if I had all the money I needed and all my artwork edited and ready and files named, and all I had to do was place the order and I'd wait for my keychains to come in.
Well,
That'd
that's
be
what
great.
I'm saying. You got to fill that void so that I know you're being impatient for it, but fill the void with other necessary research that you might not be thinking that you'll need in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Like start doing math of how much you need or how much money you want,
Oh,
what
I
you want
already
to print,
did it.
fix your edits, look at art shops, like stuff like that. Like other things can be filled in that time.
Yeah, that's true. It just makes me more excited, and then I gotta put it down so I can just feel how excited I am.
Why does Kaylin sound
Blow
like
up
she's
in
about to cry
applause.
right now?
What?
The way you were talking sounded like you're about to cry. You're like,
I know.
yeah, it just makes me feel so excited.
Because it doesn't feel as good as it sounds.
Alright, let's get
Glue stick
started,
on my
losers.
lips. Would my lips be glued together?
Apalashikola
Would
Hushpukina.
this glue my lips together? Yes or no?
Huh?
No.
Not even like
Welcome.
slightly.
Welcome to post.
It's my turn. You did it last week.
Oh, okay.
You're listening to Post Credit Depression, where we talk about this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is I have this plushie that Kaylin made me. You guys can't see it, but it's a cute little duck, and it's my favorite thing on my desk right now.
Aw, thank you. I'm Kaylin, and I'm living out my One Piece dreams playing Sea of Thieves right now. I just started playing. I named a parrot Tahine. It's after my favorite, like, snack seasoning.
Oh, you kind of sounded like you had more to say, but anyways, my name's Kinsey. My name's Kinsey, and my fun fact of this week is that I'm obsessed with Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, and we will be reviewing at some point, and that the love of my life is going to act exactly like Shao Van Shao, the main male character of the anime.
We're taking applications for any Shao Van Shao appearing / behaving gentle people out there. It does not matter the gender. I think that Kinsey's she's ready. It's been a while.
So yeah.
Well, this week we're doing our part 2 of Kaylin, get this off the screen. I'm sorry, I just don't like that I can't see you guys well.
You can't see me anyways.
I don't care. I can see Kinsey, but it's so small.
All right, well, before
I
I
just
take you
don't
down,
need that on the
shut up.
screen.
Myself,
here,
I gotta
I'll take
read the body language, or I'm going to have an aneurysm.
I'm autistic. I need the body language.
All right, I'll give it back to you after I use this, and I'm going to use
Okay,
it
let me
right
introduce
now.
then, and then we'll bring that up. We're doing part 2 of Hozier Unreal Unearth.
Okay, are you
Because
done?
it was so good that we couldn't fit it all in one episode.
It was so good. We had to do
Are you
part
done now?
2.
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. She's just mad I beat her in Mount College twice, but anyways, don't blink. Just to recap, I thought there was only 3 songs on this album, which is why I didn't go back and listen to it, because I had heard the 3 songs enough, and then I was wrong, and so I had to binge the morning of our recording, and I listened to it all the way through, and I was like, that was pretty good, but I wish I remembered it enough for the talk, and I remembered it enough and took notes of my first impressions, but I have to go through the first few songs in a very quick logline fashion before we move on because I didn't give them enough appreciation last week. So, starting with DeSelby, part 1 and 2. What a amazing start to the entire album. Can't get better than that. The first time, what the fuck? I Carry On and Francesca, like, I just feel like I'm literally floating around and like being like loved and like discarded but like not forgotten. Like, I don't know. It feels really good. Eat Your Young, Bop. Damage Gets Done, and Who We Are as a
We
combination
didn't get to who
probably.
you are yet. We didn't get to who you are yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to
What?
it.
We
We haven't gotten
didn't?
to no.
Nope.
Oh my god, that like those two in combination because when you hear the Damage Gets Done and then bleed into Who We Are, that's a combination. But anyways, the Damage Gets Done, probably story wise, one of my it's hard to pick a favorite, but it's like one of my favorite, like narratives. And also I just the duet is so good. Whoever like is singing along with him, I'll have to look her name up. I feel bad, but it's
Whoever
so
that girl
good.
is, she really know what she doing.
I know it. Like I feel like you know what I feel like? I feel like I'm doing karaoke like with all my best friends, and I feel like we're just singing our hearts out. Like we're not really going through what the couple's going through, but we're just singing our fucking hearts out. That's what I visualize when I like sing along to it in the car.
Well,
It's
let
so
Anyways,
me.
funny that you point out the bleed from Damage Is Done to Who We Are because I think it also bleeds really well from Who We Are to All Things or not All Things End. It goes into Son of Nyx first and then All Things End.
I completely agree.
So that's why last week when we were trying to figure out where to cut it, I was like, I want to cut it after Damage Gets Done because I feel like there's a full transition on the vibes. When you go from Damage Gets Done to Who We Are, it's like a completely different vibe and sound, and I love the way it bleeds from Who We Are into Son of Nyx.
Well, I'm
So
happy. I'm happy to have taken the time because I didn't give it enough appreciation the first like half of the album, and I'm happy to recap because yeah, I completely agree with what you said, and specifically just to talk about like going into Who We Are, like the Damage Gets Done. It's this very bitter like but like almost sweet like I remember how we were and I don't know how we lost it, and it like I don't know, and then it goes like darker and darker and down, and then like I don't know, like it's kind of like a very slow slip and slide. That's how it feels when you go down the second half of the album. It's just like it gets slower and the music gets slower, and you can slow down any song and it sounds sad. Do you guys agree?
yeah, that's
Take
why
any
people
song.
like Harry Styles successfully write happy songs, but they're slow and sad, and you're like, this is a happy song, but I'm sad.
Oh my god, that's a good point.
Well, I wanted to mention that this is part 2 of something I showed this week, and I'm so happy that my friends like Hozier as much as I do because I remember, you know, 2 years ago. Well, actually, it was more. It was like 3 years ago now. Showing Kaylin Hozier for the first time, and like, she didn't get the hype yet because he's it's like literature. It's like high literature, and sometimes you
Bro,
gotta
I just heard
reread the
this Irish
sentence.
man's
Like,
accent. That's all I heard. I didn't even visualize the lyrics, and like you put a
yeah,
book in front of me, and I read it, and I was like,
Hosier
gasp.
only enunciates is what he wants you to hear. So
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
I'm not supposed to hear it, then I'm not gonna. I'm kidding. I read the lyrics to every song, but and that's just a joke I see on Twitter about him enunciating things. But
Bean.
I be okay.
I love that motherfucker.
I
Um,
just saw his cute little fucking face. Like y'all missed his little face. It was funny.
look at his
Hi,
little
Bean. There he
face.
is.
But yeah, just
That's
wanted
my
to
child.
reinstate that I'm very excited to keep reviewing it. So starting with Who We Are.
I'm gonna start there.
What do you mean?
That's
That's the
that's the
next
Well,
next
song.
like
song.
that. No, I'm saying that was like the sound of like a knife being driven into my heart. Like where when you stab someone in the heart, they let out the air that was within their lungs because their lungs are right behind their heart. So that's like the sound of air being pushed out.
Oh, well,
You
I
guys
don't
can't
know.
see me over the camera, but I
I don't know
stabbed
why
myself.
you
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
that
This is why I
way.
need body language. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah,
Why
do
I
you
felt
mean
that
like
way? It's like
an
it's
abrupt
a
change?
heart wrenching good song. It's
Oh. Oh, okay. I
like
thought
I scream to this song in the car, like as if I've been through some shit when I'm completely in a happy relationship. But like it's just the narrative is
well,
so good.
Who We Are is actually I think not that much about love necessarily
It's
like
about an
oh,
ex.
I know.
but I thought Who We Are is more so about like yeah, his entire album is about love essentially. But I'm saying like this song talks about like finding who we are and the pain that we go through to do that, and how it can be at the expense of other people too. Like they come into your life and they leave your life, and wanting somebody to love you because you're so afraid to be in that space alone.
It was given the vibes for me that like almost like the relationship was like already on the brinks, like inevitably ending, and he like saw that it was bad, but he was like, "That's just who we are." Like relationships end and things go bad, and that's just who we are.
Well, yeah, I was still
Yeah.
getting that vibe too. I just think I think the song is more so about a relationship bringing you to that realization, like not one that's staying, like clearly, like it's out on its way out the door. But I think the song is more so about like, you know, finding, I don't know, not peace, but like you're just expressing yourself through the ending of a relationship and realizing it's like this is just normal. Like people aren't bad nor good if they leave or enter your life,
Yeah, it
kind
was
of thing.
definitely like we're only humans vibes. Like it ended, and that's fine. We're only humans. It's okay if things didn't work out. That's just who we are as people. Almost like him saying like we're just not compatible.
Specifically who we are. It isn't, and I went and double checked. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the Wrath one. I double checked, and it is the Wrath one. And for me, it gives, when you're in the 5 stages of grief and you get to anger and you're angry about it, because it's like you have to go through that wrathful, angry part of grieving to find acceptance. And I think that when we go through Son of Nixon coming on, we'll talk about things more. I think he finds acceptance, but like he literally is like talking about waiting for somebody to come along like with those eyes, and is like still sad and missing her, and then he just like, to hold me like water, and then he says, or Christ, hold me like a knife, like because their relationship was sharp like a knife, and then he just starts like belting out like angry. So I take it like that stage of grief when you're just like do y'all know that meme, the where the girl's screaming in the mirror and she's got her bonnet on?
Mhm.
Yeah. Ryan, do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope, I
I'll send it
can't
later.
visualize it.
It's just
I
her, like you can see so much like pain in her face, and she's just screaming, and people meme it a lot, like, and specifically they'll meme it with music that's like that good or like that just like intense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's what it is for me. It's like the lyrics. I feel like this song was about a relationship that's ending, but this relationship is teaching him so much about who he is, what he sacrificed to have the relationship, and what was really worth it at the end of the day. Because in this line, he says, "We're born at night, so much of our life is just carving through the dark to get so far, and the hardest part is who we are. That's who we are." So, like, I really believe in this, like, way of thinking that none of us really know who we are straight except for when you're children. Like when you're a kid, you really understand a lot of who you are, but from a childlike perspective. And the older you get and you get warped by like what you've been taught and like society and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, you start to struggle to find who you really are, which your childlike self really knew the beginnings of. Like even if as a child you didn't understand like the depths, you still understood it more than we do now in our young adult life. um, so this song kind of felt like you don't know who you are until you like wade through the darkness of your soul, and sometimes a relationship can bring the light from that, but at the cost of it leaving. You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah,
can
I
see why
think
you
that
why you say that.
I think it reminds me of like my first serious breakup ever, and I remember physically going through like the denial stage, the bargaining, like, okay, sure, I'm fine with being friends. That's cool. You'll still be in my life. That's cool. And then I remember having breakfast with my brother and telling him that it happened, and he was like shocked because we were going to the same college, and he was like, "Oh my god, he did that!" And like I was telling him all the details, and I was like, "But it's okay because we're still friends." And he said, "Friends," like, and he explained like all the other details I had mentioned and how wrong it was, like what he did, and like specifically why I should be upset. And I went straight into wrath. I was like, damn, I guess you are just an asshole. Which I'm not saying that for Hozier. Like, he still has love for this person, and that was a very young love of mine that I'm not comparing it to. But I think that when you get into that stage, it's like you accept, like, no, I am angry at you, and I am angry that, like, you know, about certain parts of it, but I still, in the song, I still love you, and I still I wish we could make it work. It's like the song starts with the bargaining, but then it ends with like, this is just who we are. And
Mm-hmm.
it starts like lending itself to the next part of the album with a little bit more acceptance that things end.
Yeah, I agree, guys. You changed my mind.
It's okay. Music,
Oh,
art as a whole is up to interpretation, and there's times where I hear songs that I know the meaning, but they'll feel like a different meaning later in life. So
There's been at
that's true.
least 3 times that I thought Hozier was talking about love, but he was talking about dead critters. So,
Dead critters. Yeah, yeah. Because when I look at the lyrics more, I'm like, oh, yeah. I just like how upset he is in this song. Like, I
oh my god, it
like,
makes me. I could go listen to it right now. Like the with your eyes, like oh my god.
damn. But yeah, love that song. Moving on to the next one, we got Son of Nyx. And for me, this song, I know I told you guys first time was my favorite at the beginning, but I kind of had this conversation with Kaylin recently that it's been kind of hard for me to listen to the album as often as I'd like to because I feel like it's describing a lot of what I've been going through the last year and a half since graduating, and it feels really raw, and it feels like just I
hmm
get really upset if I listen to it too often because it's that
Oh,
good. It's
my
that good.
Scorpio 12th house is watching this eating popcorn and like just empathizing big. Like this is like rubbing some salt into your fucking fresh
Yeah, for
wounds.
me, I'm like, damn. Like it feels like when I graduated last, like a year and a half ago, I had a completely different outlook of what I thought life would look like now, and the fact that it has gone 180, and this album has really talked about like transformation and letting go, and like
Death and
the
rebirth
grief of
and
like having to die and become a different person has been really hard for me to listen to. So with the Son of Nyx, okay, I thought First Time was my favorite. Still love First Time. I really do. But I
mm-hmm.
actually think that Son of Nyx is one of my top favorites. And I listened to the song when I first listened to the album and I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's cool. It's an instrumental. But then I was driving home from my mom's house after we had this crazy conversation. Um, and it was pitch black outside because it was almost 11 o'clock at night and it was raining. And this song was full blast on in my car. And I was like, it was like a cinematic experience, but with no visuals. Like, I was a changed person after the song. That's why it says "Son of Nyx changed me" on my
Did you
name.
take in the blackness of the air?
Yes, yes. No, you don't
That's like
understand.
a
Like
Selby
he's
Part 1 reference, by the way.
I honestly thought you like when I heard this song, like I thought it was gonna be one of your favorites to begin with, and like it's supposed to Son of Nyx is supposed to represent like a goddess of like night or something like that. So I was like, this is up Kinsey's
yeah.
alley,
I know who Nyx is.
Isn't
and
Nick the boatman?
No,
No,
no.
I thought he
Nyx
was.
Nyx is the goddess of darkness and nighttime, and
yeah,
she's
I was like, this is up
older.
Kinsey's alley as soon as I saw the song.
She's older than Zeus because Zeus is just one of the 12 Olympians. She's older than Gaia, which is the titan of time. I mean, a titan of the earth. And she's older than Uranus, which is the titan of the sky. Because the first thing that was ever there was darkness. Like, if you
You
look at,
turn
like,
me on when
Christian
you
mythology.
start talking real mythological over there.
So when he says he's the son of Nyx, like, he's the son of night. Like, and the song is all about, like, nighttime, like, darkness, and, like, you know,
Which is so perfect going to how Caleb was talking about the grieving process with like the last song, and then we go into Son of Nyx, and then all things end. That's why I was like, I need these three songs back to back when we discuss them,
Well, and the tour
because you're
after
right. It
like
is like he's this entering this darkness
also
now, this like aloneness.
Nyx was so powerful that it was the only god, well, she's a goddess, that Zeus was afraid of. There
Yeah,
was only one person he was afraid of, and it was Nyx. And she's like, she gave birth to like all the crazy ass goddesses, like the occult goddesses and all that shit. She didn't give a fuck. And nobody fucked with her.
well before acceptance, like before the final acceptance in the 5 stages is depression. So I think it's very interesting that like before we get to all things in and after the who we are, you get this like very nighttime dark ass transition. And now that I know it's the right god, I was imagining a man with a boat this whole time because that's who I thought Nyx was.
I forget that dude's name, but I know who you're talking about. He like
Styx.
that's the River of Styx.
Oh my god.
He travels on the River of Styx, but he's not even a god either. He just works for Hades, and I forget his name.
I
But
can look it up. He's the
he takes
boatman.
he takes dead souls
Greek
into the underworld.
boatman.
Greek
Underworld.
River of Styx boatman underworld.
His name. Enter. Charon? Oh, Kinsey.
Huh?
He is the son of Nyx.
He
oh my
is
God, look at
he is
Bean.
a son of Nyx.
In Greek mythology, the son of Erebus and Nyx whose duty it was to ferry over the river's Styx. Oh
Okay,
my
okay.
god! So
Listen,
I
hear me
was
out, hear
right.
me out, hear me out. I didn't remember his name. So now that I'm thinking about the song, maybe Hozier himself is not comparing himself to a son of Nyx herself, but actually speaking about the boatman. So maybe Kaylin's intuition was correct this right time.
Wait,
Maybe
wait,
it
wait.
was about the boatman because the boatman takes you to the underworld. He literally you have to like descend a little bit yourself to go into the underworld, and he's like, but if you actually want to get there, you got to take this
I
boat.
had like a Lord of the Rings cinematic experience of what the underworld looked like, what these like taverns and caves looked like, of this man boating me down. But like, what's so funny is I just snapped you guys saying that like, listen, I don't know the words, what trine, square, circle, and whatever the fuck y'all are talking about means, but there was a time and place where there was no telescopes and y'all had to rely on the intuitive bitches, and here I am not knowing who Nyx is, that she's this hot old lady in Greek mythology, older than anybody. Hey, old ladies can be a hot term, Kinsey, don't look at me like that. And I was picturing a boatman the whole time. I didn't have to picture that. I just was like,
Hey,
I
but if you
met a
think
boatman.
about it, we were both right because I told you that Nyx
That's so
was a
interesting though.
lady, and you know what? I didn't even know that Mr. Boatman was one of
Hmm.
Nyx's children. I know she's had several, so I just
But
didn't know it was one of them.
So it adds even more to the lore and metaphor that Mr. Hozier himself is doing, because this begins with another dissension of the levels,
hmm
and he's like, "Yeah, we're going through it. I hopped on that boat."
And the fact
yeah.
that it's in the layer of depression, you said,
Yeah.
like he
How
the
depressed are you going to be if you're guiding lost souls?
Oh my god.
no, I don't think
Um,
he's saying that the son of Nyx himself is depressed, but like maybe like
I'd be pretty depressed. My mom
I'd
made
be
me work,
depressed
and
in
my
both.
job is to bring these souls down to the underworld.
literally
I traveled
back
there. I travel
I
left
think the
back.
listeners
left
can
to
tell that
right, left to right. I'm
I
depressed.
bring a new soul every
See,
day
okay,
by day.
although that was funny as fuck, Mariah, I actually think that the song is called Son of Nyx because, the boatman does transfer you to the next,
it's
area of
Because
yeah.
hell.
Hozier himself is taking women day by. No, I'm kidding.
Day by
Oh
day
my
on this
god, shut
boat
up.
into hell.
I think it is
Succubus.
funny that we were both right because I mean the listeners can tell that you are a Greek nut nerd and you are not wrong at like who Nyx was and stuff. But like I after I heard your interpretation, I'm like, so it's just the son of this god. Like who's the son of this god? And then it's like, oh, exactly who I intuitively imagined.
Well, it's so weird. I knew the boatman had a name, but I've only known him as the boatman, the man who takes, souls to. They're not lost souls, by the way. They're souls that are going to the underworld.
That's like when
Um,
your parents own a business and they make you work like at the cash register, like
really
she's
quick,
the
let
night.
me look something up really quick, okay? Pause, because I think this is a good idea.
Also, I saw your little duck parrot, Mariah, on your shoulder.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Bean
hi,
is so
Bean.
fucking cute. I literally love that cat so much with my whole life. I would die for him.
All
I
right,
want
all
to
right.
see him every single day and rub his belly and play worm and play with the tent with him every single day and take him everywhere I go and keep him in my pocket.
Mariah, there's only one way you can do that, and that is to get this job in Columbus and go live with your uncle for a couple months, and then convince Kinsey to come down, and then she'll bring her cats.
Or I kidnap Bean.
That's the worst case scenario, and I think that Bean would be very sad and depressed about
Wrong.
his brother.
So, guys,
He loves Chowder now.
um, I wanted to mention because I didn't even know that the boatman was one of the sons of Nyx. I knew one of Nyx's sons was Thanatos, and he is the god of death. So Hades is the god of the underworld. He's in control of all the dead bitches.
So he's basically the Grim
But
Reaper.
but Thanatos is the Grim Reaper. He's the one that goes and snatches the souls. And I knew that he was the son of Nyx. So just imagine you are the son of Nyx, but you ended up being a boatman and not Thanatos.
Hey, I think
Also,
Boatman has a
Why
charm
why
to
my big brother get a better job than me and I gotta go back and forth with these dead souls? What I gotta do to get a promotion around here?
what I
I
gotta do.
personally, my intuition is telling me that Hozier is referencing Boatman for sure because it's just like we're already at that circle of hell that I feel like at some point we got to cross the Boatman. Whereas like maybe in one of the first layers we would have encountered the Grim Reaper on like the planet Earth. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
think like I said, the songs bleed so well. I think he did that intentionally, knowing that this was like the person to bring you to the next round.
This is so cool.
Ah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure so Erebus is Nyx's husband and he's the god of like darkness and gloom and like scary shit, and she's the goddess of the night.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I could be wrong, though, because I only know more about NYX. I don't know a lot about Erebus.
Isn't NYX a makeup company too?
Yes, but that has nothing to do with Hozier.
Let me look it up.
It is. I'm telling you, it is. I know it is because I have their eyeliner.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
My voice means nothing.
I just wanted to see.
My
Yeah.
voice means nothing.
It's not a crime. I'm not breaking no laws.
This is me, son of Nyx. Bringing the lost souls. Gotta get the lost souls.
She sounds really far away from her thing. It sounds
Look at her pick up all the squishmallows. You sound so funny in the distance, like the echo from the microphone. You hear the rolling chair.
Mom said I gotta get the lost souls.
Mom said I gotta get the lost.
Grabbing the lost souls.
Where's the duck?
This is me asking my mother for a promotion. Hey, Mom, I've been working for like eternity. Do you think there's any way I could get a better job?
Do you think there's any way I could get out of this motherfucking boat, bitch?
Like, I'm tired of being on this boat. My legs are cramping. I see the same lost souls swimming around. What do I got to do to get a better job?
What do I got to do? Tananto's got
This is
some
a family
wings.
business.
What can I do to get some wings up in this bitch?
This is a family
I've been your
business.
best boatman for eternity, Mom.
Put me in, coach, please. Get me out of this boat.
You have to do what's best for the familia.
But anyways, yeah, loved the song. I like that it's instrumental. I think their violins, if I'm correct, the violins get me crazy. Absolutely
Stimulations.
It's ephemeral, dog. In my soul, I feel it tingling in my soul, not even in my organs. And I don't have a lot to say about this song other than the fact that it feels like darkness itself is like encompassing me, covering me, seeping into me, but in the best ways. Like in a scary way, but in a way where you know that you're going to change afterwards for the better. So that is how I feel about the song. It actually doesn't actually feel like depression to me personally, but it definitely feels like I'm like transforming into a different person by the end of the song.
I agree, and there isn't a lot to say. It is just art, and it's interpretive, and it does have enough of a reference in the title itself to set the theme for you.
Ain't no words in the song anyway, so it's all up to vibes.
So I think I vibed it out. Unless y'all have anything else about the vibes, we're gonna move on. Is that all right?
Yeah. So
Okay, hold on. This is my episode. Silence. That was me using the Star Wars Force on you.
The Force. It's just called the Force.
Force. I used to force on you. The next song is All Things End. And this song is so motherfucking good. It's so existential yet so romantic at the exact same time and hits very personally.
Very, very personally. Very, very personal. I'm also personally attacked by it.
It's a very personal song for personal reasons to me. So, yes. Tell me what you guys thought about it before I say what I want. Kaylin, the Force has been released.
Oh, God, I almost suffocated. I couldn't breathe. I remember the first time hearing it, feeling the existential. Like, I could not believe this man had to remind us all that the sun will end and pop one day. Like, all stars die out and explode. But it does have this rebirth and this yes, all things end, but it quickly references the life cycle, life death, he specifically says all things end, but we'll begin again, time and time again, just as we intended. And I think that it tells me the stories of twin flames who don't make it out in a lifetime, so they try again the next lifetime.
That is literally not, it's not about the lifetime. He's talking about how in one lifetime you can do a lot.
No, I know, but it can be interpreted either way is how I feel.
That is true.
I mean, if that's how you feel, love you.
No, I feel both ways. I take it as you could send that to your ex, we want to begin again, or you can take it very big picture, which when I listened to the entire album, which I only formed this new interpretation when I listened to the entire album, I do get senses of he literally is going through hell. I see him as a soul, and I see him as And I mean, I'm not trying to jump to the ending too quick, but First Light, we kind of do ascend again, and it's very metaphorical, but I think that's like the biblical way he wrote it down, but it can be still sent to your ex, lovingly.
Yeah, I think,
Peace
and
sign.
if you want to know my opinion, I felt like the song
You
was
didn't ask
about
Mariah first. You said you were gonna ask both of us, and then you said you're gonna give
Maya.
your opinion.
Please let me know. What did you think about this song?
When this song first dropped on the EP that Kaylin thought was the album, it was already my favorite song. Um, One of my favorite things about the song before I go into the lyrics is like the sound itself. There are two things I love when music does. One, I love when they get really, 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 really intense and then they drop it off and then they go like really, really whisper quiet. It's my favorite thing when songs do that because like it gets your heart pumping and it cuts. This one did my other favorite thing. There's a line when he says, I never heard the silence, and then it goes silent for a second. It's very minuscule, but if you hear it, it's like I don't know how to explain what it does to me. I love it.
Game is like
I
up.
wish we were recording right now. Like I wish people could see
It's
you
like when
do
I see
that.
good parallels in a TV show. It like gets it's like, oh, you guys got me. That was good.
That was silent, dog.
Yeah.
Kids,
But I love that. I love the choir at the end of it. I think it's so perfect. I obviously heard the song at the same time Kinsey did, and first thing in the morning. I think that this song is one of my favorite songs on the album. I remember when the EP came out, I liked it, and I was like, I'm kind of over it. And the album came out, and I think where he put it at the album brought like more light to it for me. It's gold. I could cry to it. I don't, but I feel like if I was in a good enough mood, I would cry to it.
I cried to it.
I think it's a really good one. I think that metaphorically, the song could be represented for a lot of different situations, and it's a good reminder for people. Like, yeah, all things end, but like, if you really truly want to start over and start again, like you have to let things end. You have to let things change.
and die.
Well, I'll tell you
Kinsey,
my
did you hear
opinion
my
about
joke,
the
by the
song.
way?
No, what'd you say?
When Mariah brought up that, like, him referencing the silent, and then the song goes silent, and it literally like rocked her off her socks. I said, this man's foreplay game is up.
He knows. He knows how to. What's it called? What's it called when you're edging? He knows how to edge us.
Yeah, he knows how to edge.
Anyway, if Hozier listens to this and he hears any of my gremlin ass sounds, I hope he falls in love with me. Anyway, um, I'm available.
Watch this. He'll actually fall in love with me, and then Kinsey will make me not talk to anyone ever again.
Kill her. I'll kill her and then I'll make him fall in love with me. Anyways, with that song, although I like listening to the song in regards to a romantic kind of proposition, I feel like the song itself talks about things end no matter what it is. No matter what it is in your life, romantic, friends, family, people die, all that fucking sad ass shit. But just because things end doesn't mean new love or new opportunities can't come into your life, whether it's the
Yes.
same person coming back into your life or a new love that can teach you more about love. Your family members are going to die, which is sad. But like you have chosen family and you have like a real family if you choose to have children. Okay, this is kind of getting a little off topic. But what I'm saying is that relationships end, but that doesn't mean that's the end of it all, and there's still happiness and things to look forward to, and that's why it can begin again. But I also think that the song, for me, and this is just for me, I feel like it really talks about how relationships themselves can have, like, think of it as like eras or like books, where it's like, yeah, maybe you guys had a really rough patch, but that doesn't mean you guys can't come back together and be friends again after you grew apart, learned some stuff, and came back, whether it's a relationship, friendship, anything like that, family relationships, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I totally see that like meaning as well.
And I feel like that meaning in itself, the one I just mentioned, is probably the most important to me in regards to this song. So,
Oh, I mean, he's got that line that says, where he says like, knowing everything will end should not change our plans when we begin again, too. And that one's really good. Like,
Exactly.
knowing that there's a possibility of it ending again, we shouldn't stop it. We shouldn't finish it. Like, we should continue moving forward with it. I think you're right. That's why I say this song is good, like metaphorically, for just a lot of instances. Obviously, he wrote it for like a relationship, but like in so many aspects in life, like I could catch myself listening to this and understanding it in a different aspect because of it.
I agree.
Yeah. Also, again, the placement on the album, like to hear this after Who We Are and Son of Nyx, it's just right perfectly right there because you can't have an all things end where this like death rebirth without going through the first two first. And yes, that goes for both party members. Because if the one person ain't done their work for the Who We Are and all that other bullshit, I don't want to be hearing no begin again.
Exactly. You really got a good point. I feel like Hosier talking about all things and like you have to let those things go or you have to grow and change from that previous experience in order to begin again
And transform.
in whatever form that comes to you in your friendship relationship or family relationship. Like you have to go through that transformation in order to have something again with that
Yep,
person, you know.
absolutely.
If you have do you guys have anything else to say about the song?
Yeah, he's got that one part in the song that says something about the sand slipping through his hands. And I remember I was like, that line was so dumb when I first heard it. But then I was
Uh
like, it's not that bad, actually. I was just being dramatic. He says, all that we intend is scrawled in sand or slips right through our hands. I was like, what you mean, sir? But that was also me just being difficult when I first heard the song because
what do
that's
you
what I
mean?
do.
Like a fucking like sand timer, like you know, like that goes the sand
That's
goes.
what it was. I was picturing him picking up sand.
Well, that too, that too. It's the point is like it's little fucking particles that like become
Oh.
gold, you know. I really like the line. It's in the second lyrics. He says, "I know we want this to go easy by being somebody's
Oh,
fault, but we've
Oh
come long
yeah.
enough to know that this isn't what we want, and that's
that's
not
so good.
Mm,
always bad.
that's so good.
That
And it
isn't
goes
always
to
bad."
show that it's talking about like this lifetime, you know.
I
Yeah, even the part
know.
where he says, the last time I felt your weight on my chest, you said we didn't get it right, but love, we did our best.
I truly believe that actually it's never really one person's fault. Now I think one person can do a ton of things wrong, but I feel like I'm starting to grow out of this outdated like thought process of I can only blame somebody completely for what they did wrong to me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like miscommunications. Like, you could say it's your fault, but at the end of the day, I think it's like my perspective, your perspective. Like, we're both going to react differently due to past trauma, past issues, and that's just the
Yeah.
truth of the matter.
And like relationships will go a lot smoother if you have more of an understanding of that where you're not he says we want this to be someone else's fault, you know what I'm saying? He's like, but we've gone long enough to know that that's not actually what we want. It's to be understood as what we really want. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So that line hit me really hard, you know. I thought, Right, shut up, dude. Okay, going on to the second song, you hoes. We have To Someone from a Warmer Climate.
Mm, it's a good one.
Someone from a warm climate. What did you guys think, y'all?
Let me pull out my notes for this one because I wasn't like Kaylin. I didn't listen to it a bunch more since we recorded last. I wrote down the heartbreak comparison from the last album. It's like, oh wait, this is just a parallel. This isn't about the song. There's a line in here that gives like a parallel with Nobody, where he talks about how he desires the warmth of her side on the bed, and now that the heat of like his bedroom bothers him because it reminds him of her. And I just thought it was funny because in Nobody he goes in talking about how much he misses like the heat on her side of the bed and how much he loves it. And I thought that was an interesting callback. And I also wrote down, this is just a sad romance song.
Hmm.
What about you,
I think it
Kayla?
also talks about like the title itself to someone from a warm climate because he makes references that like someone else's like a stranger's leg wrapped around you. I think he's also like it's like a nod like she's in a warm climate, aka she's sharing a bed with someone else, aka it's a warm climate.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
almost like, when you break up with someone and you like hook up with someone just to like feel something.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that he calls the other person a stranger. It's definitely like diminishing that person's value. Like not like, oh, you moved on and found someone you're actually in love with. It's like you know you love me. We all know that's a stranger in your bed.
yeah. Yeah, he also talks about like in the first lyrics about interestingly enough, like how cold it was, but how much they enjoyed themselves like laying together. Like the way he describes the lyrics. Um what the fuck? Whatever. What I'm trying to say is like I feel like the song really does enforce that she could be with another person that doesn't actually really make her that happy or that like at least didn't experience the love that she had with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it also just gives a feeling of like I'm not necessarily thinking he wants to be back with her, but just like reflecting over a relationship that he did enjoy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his vocals are amazing. When he repeats the "It comes easy, darling" over and over again, I was like, yes, continue, Hozier.
Like it kind of, I don't know. He's like dreaming about something that he feels like is never gonna happen again. So he's like nostalgic over it. But like, there's like a tone to the song that kind of feels like he is accepting that it's not coming back, even if he misses it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm
Yes,
looking at the meaning right now because I'm actually seeing a bit about hell. So let's look at it.
y'all are losers looking at the meaning. I use my whole brain power.
I know, but I feel like it helps me learn more and
Mara
appreciate
said,
the music.
I use my context clues.
Yeah, it's all up to my own artistic
Sorry, it's not Old
interpretation.
McDonald where they tell me exactly what the cow said, but like I need to look it up.
I think well, you guys should look. There's a YouTube video where he breaks down a couple songs from this album himself, and I love watching artists do videos of that because they kind of give like a little history with the song too.
Mm.
Mara sent
Hmm.
a photo of Bean sitting on my chair.
Oh my god, I love him. That's why.
That's so funny. Did you save it?
No,
Wow.
The things we do to make our head go silent. And it talks about like there's this like part of this is hard. This is like very
it's
deep
okay.
bullshit. Sorry, fans. Like we were
I
not
like the
prepared
part
for
where he
this.
says that the river of my arms have found the ocean. I wish I could say the cold lake water of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like he's dreaming and thinking of her, but she's not nowhere near close to him. And
Oh
then,
yeah, because the next line is him saying, "Christ, it's boiling over, but it happened easy, darling."
Because there's references to the cold at the end. Cold lake and a boiling river, which are talking about like certain circles in hell and how different people were punished. Um, so I'm like trying to see how that compares to the relationship because
I
it's
hope
like
I get one of the
focused
nice
on
levels of hell.
violence. um, there's like also like violent crimes that were violent to yourself, kind of like killing yourself, which is like rude as heck. Like, dang, life was hard enough. I had to kill myself. You're gonna send me to hell now. Thanks. Like, whatever.
hmm, yeah, he says, and I wish I could say that the river of my arms have found the ocean. And I wish I could say that the cold lake water of my heart, Christ, it's boiling over. But it happened easy, darling, natural as another leg around you in the bed frame. Maybe,
So the frozen lake is in the ninth circle of hell, and then the boiling talks about like the punishment uh like different punishments for in hell. They would like boil in the river of blood, like people who committed violence, and I just don't know how it's referencing it back to the song. You know what I mean? Like to the former lover,
this is when we might have to, I mean,
the
we're only
former.
interpreting it our best. Hosier, we are not as educated as you, sir. So we are just taking the album with the information that we know we have and what we can Google. So, still loved the song, still really good.
I was already gonna say like my thoughts were that I had a hard time understanding the deeper meaning, but I do know it talks about is like they're not together and she's with someone else. That's kind of all I picked up from it, but and I really did try, fans. I really did. I listened to this album like front to back, and I'm looking at Reddit. It's just like I need somebody to make a PowerPoint because I'm a visual learner, and it's hard to
Well,
read your guys' like bold fucking text. Like
a,
this page is long. Like please just PowerPoint. I
a
don't know.
lot of the times when I'm listening to Hosier, especially in the past when I was younger, like it might take me a while for me to understand a song more times I've listened to it, more times I've had like life experiences, and maybe even just seeing what other people post online. And we're reviewing it as it has just came out, and there's only so much information on it. And this man is so. I have no doubt that this song has very good references. I just don't understand them yet. So when I get to it, when I figure it out, everything will be under control. But still love this song. Still really good.
Mm-hmm. Let's just keep moving on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to Butchered Tongue. So, what did you guys think about Butchered Tongue?
I wrote nothing down for that one, so I guess I
Um,
had no thoughts.
Specifically, guys, it's so funny you say that because the Apalachicola Hushkapana Guibara is from Butchered Tongues, and it does have another one of those like very deep metaphorical ones. I know it kept referencing like let me look it up. Someone being silenced, but the butchered tongue was still singing. So I gotta Google this one too. And I probably should have done all my Googling earlier, but I don't fucking care, y'all. Roast me. Boil me in the ninth circle of hell in the river of blood and see if I care. Let's go down to butchered tongues. Singing at me first. How the mouse was. I'm not gonna read all that. The ears were chopped from young men. If the pitch cat didn't kill them, they are buried without scalp in shattered bedrock of our home. Like, bitch, all I know is it sounds very pretty. Like, when it comes on, I can, like, kind of float away, but, like, the last chorus / lyrics was, in some town that just means home to them, with no translator left to sound a butchered tongue still singing here above the ground.
I felt like it talked about people who have been silenced.
Oh, it literally talks about oppression when you click on it on the Genius thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, so I don't like just the last song. This was like more of what like I was just interpreting. I didn't feel as confident about my response, but like it, and I don't know if this is targeted towards a specific group of people that he wants to like make commentary on, because like I just
It's
don't know,
targeted to me.
because I just don't know enough about the song. Wow,
It's
listen,
about me
shut up,
being oppressed.
Is it really?
It says it begins to
No, I
take
mean
on
like, is it
two
about black
meanings.
people in this song?
Oh,
Because
I
I
know.
don't
I
know.
think I would have noticed that.
Okay. I didn't
Butchered
know.
tongue begins to take on two meanings. The first, a reference to common butchering of languages such as Irish. The second, a more colonial impact. Native languages and the speakers of it were literally butchered under colonial regimens in attempts to suppress and homogenize most effectively. Hozier speaks on both phenomenons and appears to link the two as inextricable and causatational. While the Irish language survived the brutal oppression, it did not come out unscathed, and today many Irish people still can't speak it. Oh my god, and he literally. Okay, so those words. I like to pick niche stuff to be my name, but it's just also. I remember when he sings in Gaelic, it does sound very like a beautiful language, and I will say that like you don't hear a lot of it, and that's very sad that that's what that means. This song.
See, yeah, it felt very a little. I'm not saying it was broad or general, just based off of like what I could tell from the song, and I'm my information could be broad or general, is what I'm saying. But it did just to me, I was like, okay, this is an overall song about speaking about like oppression or cutting people's voices, like not being able to say what you want to say, and being in a place where there's no translators to understand. Like the last few lyrics being like, but they still sing anyways. They still you know,
Hmm.
show up and speak, even if they are have butchered tongues, which I
I'm
thought
sure
was
the song is
cool.
intended to have both meanings, like a dual meaning. I'm sure that his inspiration is behind the fact, like you said, the Irish speaking, but him lyrically is trying to make it fit into a broader audience, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think that's really successful. I wasn't trying to say anything about it like negatively. And you know what? Not all of Hosier's songs need to have like 5 references from different mythologies or anything like that to be good. I felt like this was really cool.
Yeah.
The very first what's it called? Not chorus, verse, where he says to say, Apollish Kiola. I'm butchering that literally. Or Hushpakana. Both of those are
Butchering
names
it.
of places. Hushpakana is a place located by the Mississippi River Delta, and the first one is a place in Florida. And then Guibara talks about like that word itself is talking about like the Irish. Hold on, sorry, my things keep going away. It's a poem about reclaiming Irish culture and heritage. This is a song, Hozier, I will have to do my homework on, but also props to you for writing it and talking about it, because that does sound really important.
Yes. Yes.
He loves sticking up for the small people, and I appreciate that.
And I think it's really cool that he's, definitely like throwing a bit of himself in there, and like, I've heard that before, especially like, even immigrants who moved to America to like, for whatever reasons, like maybe their homes were, fucking colonized or, trashed by fucking, British people. but they'll come to America or somewhere else seeking like a better life or opportunity for their families, and then like their kids don't want to learn the language, or like their language just gets like butchered, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it stretches, like it can still be resonant, I feel like, for other like situations or issues.
Damn, there's a lot of motherfucking songs on this album. They're all amazing, but damn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
because we're not sounding super confident in talking about this one. I love it, and honestly, I love it more knowing what it means. And it's, I will give it to it. It's my favorite part about it is it sounds beautiful. It's a very beautiful sounding song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was prepared to talk about certain songs and know that I don't really know a lot about them, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna hold me back from letting Hozier know how much I love his ass. So when he listens to this, I hope he's not disappointed in us. Moving on, we
Well,
have
half of these are just our first impression. I think this man knows that he is speaking very poetically, and that
yeah.
like there's a lot of levels and metaphors and stuff, and
He
half of
knows.
this,
Let's be honest. I'm sure this
is
man.
experienced.
I'm sure he has talked to fans and he has had these same conversations about how his stuff is really intricate.
I know
Yeah,
they walk
We
up,
could
shake his
say
hand,
we
like,
could say everything, and every single thing we're saying it could be wrong. He's like, actually, all things end is not about that, and we'd be like, what do you mean?
we'd be like, you
bro,
know what? I'm
literally.
still gonna bop to it though. Boop.
Yeah.
I know that a fan walks up, they're like, Shrike really changed my life. Like, it reminded me of my ex. He's like, oh, it's literally about a bird that like sticks little mice up and hangs them up. I don't like, or
um,
abstract, which we're eventually going to talk about.
moving on to anything but.
Oh, I love this one.
Tell me what you guys thought about anything but.
I actually watched some of the clip of him talking about this one. Hold on, I wrote down what he said. Give me a second.
Oh, I am very interested to learn more.
Oh no, I guess one of the questions was that he referenced Mississippi, and I was like, "This is Kalen," so I wrote it down. Um, uh,
I did like
he
that, and I
had
also like.
said
Oh, sorry.
that there are a lot of bodies of water, or a lot of bodies of water in that too. That what's fun about that song is that the verse sounds on paper like they're describing nice things that you would want to do for somebody. Like, if I was a stampede, you wouldn't get kicked, or if I was a riptide, I wouldn't take you out. But those are Irish sarcastic ways of saying that you don't want anything to do with somebody that you reject. So it sounds like a love song, and yet it actually is about trying to put distance between you and somebody else as quickly as possible. And then he said that's why it falls into the circle of fraud.
But my question is, he says, I hear he touches your hand and then you fly away together. If I had his job, you would live forever. So he's trying to put distance between him and this woman, but at the same time, he's like, if you were with me, though, you would be experiencing something way better. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also love just the very, like, how the song begins. It begins very, like, light and fluttery. Like, when he says that he wishes he was a mayfly. He said, I'd fit all my joys and pleasures in one perfect day. I thought that was very cute.
Chowder, get down. Sorry.
I think he's a manipulator in this situation, not in a bad way, but it's like when I talk to Casey at work. I'm gonna be nice, but I also am saying I hate you at the end of the day. I'm not blurring that out.
My God.
Well, like, I feel like the song's more so about saying, like, I don't want anything to do with you, and don't worry, because I'd reject you if you came up to me anyways. But if you had the literal opportunity to love me, I'd, like, make you live forever kind of thing. But I don't want to love you anyways, so get the fuck out of my face. Kind of
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, he says it falls in fraud, so it is just like this.
Is it really?
fakeness
Did he
to it.
really say it was, like, him being bad? I don't know. I took it as, like, for example,
Hozier himself.
Man, I took it as, like, I want to be a thunder of 100,000 hooves moving quick. If I was a stampede, you wouldn't get a kick. I took it as, like, he wants to be, like, this force to be reckoned with, but, like, he would also be very gentle and loving.
He said that those are sayings in Irish culture that are sarcastic.
yeah, because how could you be in a stampede and not get kicked in the face? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's basically saying like I'm going out of my way not to kick you, even though my job as a stampede is to destroy everyone.
because I want you to
Really?
feel isolated.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. But I do like it's got a very bubbly sound. You know how like we talk about Harry Styles having like happy sound to it. I like the little guitar playing. It's giving a bit of blues, like bluegrass, and he does reference Mississippi. Now I've seen twice on this track, so
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yee!
or on two tracks. I mean, I like it. I like it.
I like it. I like it.
I want to talk about abstract.
All right. Moving on to abstract. Kaylin, what did you think?
I thought it was really beautiful, and my first impressions of the song, I remember feeling like, oh my god, if something ever happened between me and Colin, I would feel like this song. And specifically, I thought the song was just talking about seeing your relationship in a very abstract point of view, where it's like a memory that doesn't hurt you, but
It's nice
you can't
grieving.
forget it. Um, well, what does he say specifically? Let me see. Uh,
I like when he
your
says, "See
memory.
how it
Hold on, hold
shines,"
on,
like 8 times.
hold on. The memory hurts, but does me no harm, and then talks about how like the specific moment in his uh life is a trapped within an abstract moment, like inside of him, and like and him saying that like I'll always love you, or like I realized in that moment I would always love you. I just took it as like remembering a relationship that is no longer, but very fondly and very sadly, but holding it with you preciously. That's how I took it. And then I
I
found out
gotta
it was
go.
about roadkill.
Well, okay. From what I've seen, and I could be wrong, Mr. Hozier, so if I'm wrong, please don't hate on me. What I've seen on Twitter is that it's about a memory where Hozier literally saw an animal get hit by a car and somebody popped out of their car to go sit with the animal while it literally took its last breath. And how he felt like it was such a like tender and like human moment that would never ever be known. People would never know about it. It would go, you know, under the radar of this like animal experiencing their last moments of life while somebody is there to at least be there with him. And when it says see how it shines, I think he's talking about like the light in the animal's eyes before it like
Oh, he talks about the glistening in the eyes of the animal,
yeah,
and
it says the poor thing in the road, its eyes still glistening, the cold wet of your nose, the earth from a distance, see how it shines.
I think it's referencing actually like a lot of little moments in the song. I think it's definitely mainly talking about the animal's life, but he even talks about like the wet road, the wet on her nose, like it was raining, like different things glistening, the earth from a distance, and him saying, "See how it shines." It's like seeing the light of like life. You know what I mean? Seeing
Well, I
like
mean,
light.
he talked about the lights and all that stuff because he sets up the scene about before the animal dies.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of people think it's about a relationship, but it's the whole song is actually about the event of watching this animal get
Yeah, Hozier
killed at
Twitter
night.
says that that it's about what Kinsey's talking about.
Oh,
But
yeah. When I
the
found that out, I was
overall,
like, he bamboozled me again. First it was the strike, and now it's about you know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
he
Like,
be using metaphors like that to represent like some sort of feeling. That's just the truth. The
yeah,
strike and this song are still like metaphoric for another thing.
yeah, I think it's definitely metaphoric for like a very sad thing that happened, but like just be like finding the preciousness and cherishing the good
yes,
parts about it,
yes.
even though it's fleeting. Like it's about to leave any second now. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like
Like the see how it shines, like in a metaphoric way. Like I translate it to like say something bad were to happen. Like it's you being sad about what happened, very very sad, but also holding it preciously. Like and it him saying that like um a part of me I'm afraid will always be trapped within an abstract form of a moment of my life. Like I just
oh my
visualize that
god,
so hard. I visualize that so hard.
oh
And
my
like
god,
that's
that's
Yeah,
how
I
I
mean,
would.
even like if it is directly about like the animal, like the part that's like this memory hurts but does no harm. Your hand in my pocket to keep us warm. Like it's still like him talking like metaphorically of it because even it goes into the poor thing in the road, its eyes still glistening. Like I think it's like a metaphor of like all these memories we have. Like I'm still watching them end type of thing.
Yeah. Very very like I like how again music is meant to be interpreted in many different ways like that. Like if I were to put on this song to like literally cope or heal from something and somebody like very directly almost like nerdily like corrects me, they're like actually it's about roadkill and it was about this moment in Hosier's trial, and I would punch them in the face. I'd be like, let me vibe.
Yeah, I think any type of art is made to be like interpreted in multiple facets. I mean, you could show me a painting and I might think something else of someone else, and that's just the beauty of any type of art.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that I have an emotional connection to the Phantom and that I just told myself he was in love with her the entire time when really it's like possession and it's not real love, but I just pretend like it is. Like it's
Yeah.
that's what it is for me. So like let it go, you know?
You know what I have
Like
a
my
hard
painting
time.
of the Hinata scene, it could have multiple meanings if you got it, if you get it.
You know what I had a hard time in art school whenever I was a freshman and had to do anything fine artsy is I got critiqued a lot for being on the nose. And that goes to show how you gotta like make a PowerPoint about Hozier's lyrics because I would make a project thinking it was so deep. I'm like, yeah, if I do this, everybody knows this means this. And then the teachers would be like, that feels really on the nose. You should like really dig deeper. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I went to go check my notes for this song, and all I wrote was starts off with, and I never finished my sentence.
She said starts off with and then she got hit with the see how it
Oh, it's fine.
shines.
I know.
Where I said
All right, dogs. I
moving
think the
on.
next song
Next.
is.
Unknown.
Oh my god, we're
Yeah,
at the
this is one of
bottom of
my
the well.
favorite ones.
We've hit the bottom, guys. Can't get lower
Isn't there
than that.
another one after that?
There is first
Oh,
light.
okay. I guess I didn't write anything down for First Light because I was confused. Unknown's one of my favorites. There's a line that he has in there that says, "So much of the living love is the being unknown." And then there's another line that says, "Do you know I could break beneath the weight of the goodness love I still carry for you?" And it's something about the Kinsey, when Kinsey moves slowly like that, I have to pause. I think this song is very beautiful and I really like it.
Oh my
You know, I
god.
couldn't tell the difference between I felt like this song was like accepting that you loved somebody, but the more you think about it, you actually loved things about the relationship more than you loved the person. And a lot of it came from wanting to be known, right? The fear of being unknown. Because at the end, he says, you know, it's more than being unknown, and there are some people love who are better unknown. And I
Yeah.
feel like this person he thought was an angel. He really had like he put her on the pedestal kind of thing. And once he had found out who she was, it was more so about I loved being known by you, and I loved like the idea that I thought I had of you. And now that I've known more about you, maybe I don't want to, and maybe I
Yeah,
can
he
just
has a line that says like let me find it. It says, "You called me angel for the first time, my heart leapt from me. You smile now, I can see its pieces still stuck in your teeth."
I
And it gives
know.
this like
like
eeriness.
she's not actually an angel, like she actually a devil.
So
Yeah.
the ninth circle of hell is carved out specifically for treacherous people who betray one another. And with this
That's
song
where I'm gonna
talking
be.
about feeling unknown, it also talks about feeling misunderstood in the relationship. So that's what I've gathered after looking it up too, which is like so interesting because like um, the sinners would be like punished in different states and mostly like frozen or isolated or something like that, trapped in ice, like being completely by yourself or completely misunderstood in that state of the relationship. And I think he's almost like it's just crying out like, you know how everybody has their own stories and how everybody is the good guy in their own story unless you're just a fucking asshole, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
everybody has their own perspective. And I think something about it, I know you guys were talking about like the analogy of her being like this angel on a pedestal, but like she was a devil too, but I also see it as like perspectives, you know what I mean?
Hmm. I think, and you could think that that's totally fine. I meant like he imagined her at the beginning to be an angel, but then slowly throughout realized like, no, I think I just want to be known, and I'm realizing that I put all this like expectation for you to know me because of this fear of being unknown and being misunderstood. Only to realize with like the line that Mariah mentioned that you're not here to understand me anyways. Like you're not, you
What if
know.
it's she's the one who, because it said you were held frozen like an angel to me, and because they freeze sinners in the ninth circle of hell at the bottom, it's giving Lucifer like literally falling all the way to bottom. Like he doesn't see her as an angel, but almost like you won't get to know me like that, and like almost like why am I waiting for you to when you like
Yeah,
obviously
I think
misunderstand me,
I think
won't know me.
overall it's about a girl that like he wanted it to be a specific way and it did not end up that way. Like she was not the person she said to be. And the only reason I really feel that way is because the last line talking about there are some people love who are better unknown, and how do you go about the entire song saying it's not about being alone. It's not about the empty home. It's about being unknown. And then to say some people are better unknown. I feel like that's like a turnaround being like, I thought that I wanted you to understand me and I wanted to know you, but I actually think it's best that we like separate kind of thing.
Shalala.
And when you think about the ninth circle being about betrayal, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
straight up, I wanted to understand you, and now I've found out that maybe you just aren't the person I need like that to understand, like feeling betrayed. But that's just my opinion, and I haven't actually read anything about this song on Google.
Well, yeah, even there's a line where he says that I'd walk so far just to take the injury of finally knowing you.
The
So it's almost like she
intrigue.
wasn't opening up to him, and he was like, I'm willing to like figure out who you are in this unknown space.
I'll hurt myself to understand who you are. Like that's giving toxicity.
No, you know what it's
Yeah.
giving too? Like, I feel like I was like that very early on with my relationship with Colin because he was very open to like, uh, and I took it as like boyish at first of like wanting to move quickly, but like he genuinely was just like open to like, I could see this going somewhere, and I was like, I don't know, almost mistrusting it because I didn't know what love was, and I was like, I really need us to take our time, and I had my walls up, and like very slowly, it felt like literally spoon level. He was just digging a piece of it away very patiently, and then I was finally like comfortable. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your guys' situation comes from like there's a lot of trust that needed to be involved and built, and I feel like that's it has a happier ending. But the way that he ends this song, saying like some people are better unknown, and saying that he literally would have went to the extent of hurting himself just to understand her, like that seems like it's coming from her
yeah,
end that she is not ready for that kind of relationship anyways, and she's procuring a different image of herself at the beginning of the song compared to by the end when he's like, yeah, maybe we should just keep this like at a distance.
mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong. Hosier could like tweet our podcast and be like, so this was every song that they were wrong about, and I just wanted to mention it. And then he'd say something in like in Irish or something. I don't
Yeah, that'd be harsh.
know. But I liked the song. It was kind of sad for me personally. When I listen to the song, it doesn't makes me sad, but I like it.
It is a sad one, but I think it's so beautiful. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. It's the slow tempo. He's like,
Oh my god, this
you
this
know.
is a man who was definitely raised by a blues father for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have
What?
anything else to say about Unknown?
Nope.
What the fuck?
What, Galen?
Jesus Christ! An ad was playing on Genius when I had the lyrics pulled up because I was following along. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Nope.
No, it was like a small
Good.
buzzing. All right, moving on to the last song. We have First Light. What did you guys think about First Light?
I think it's a perfect way to end such a fucking dark ass album.
I know it's giving Eighth House transformation, is what it is.
Very transformative and very like light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that's where the rebirth part to it comes in. Like, and I do like how he talks about seeing the sky again because it starts with him falling. Remember, like the "I Carry On," and then the first light song, and seeing the sky again like it's the first time. And it's also a throwback to the first time.
Well, I think what's cool about it being the first time, because he says first light, it's like first light in this new body. The first time I'm experiencing light as a transformed person. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I think that we go through these kinds of transformations actually all throughout our life. Like, there's smaller ones and there's like really big ones that I feel like when I'm 80 years old, I'll be able to tell you maybe 4 or 5 times where I had a transformation this deep throughout my lifetime. And I just really like how the last song is so much about like viewing life in a different way, accepting change a little easier than the songs prior, and knowing that it's essential to still appreciate all the light and the good things in while he's ascending from the depths.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting. My favorite little line, and it reminds me of the Ace of Cups, is he says, "You fill in my cup," which I don't know for sure if he's referencing tarot, but like on Genius, it talks about the act of pouring someone else a cup before yourself, and like the gesture of selflessness that can come that way, or just like, you know, meaning just to support them. But like, because we're tarot bitches, I when I hear that line, it reminds me of the Ace of Cups, which is about love and, you know, the act of filling up a cup, which you can also fill up your own cup, you know. But um I think that that's my favorite lyric. That it
The
just
first time I ever showed my emotions to Kaylin, it was about filling up my own cup at 2 in the morning.
I just love that card. It's my favorite
Honestly,
tarot card.
this song makes me like several of those songs, but this song makes me cry when I listen to it because the level of appreciation that he has just like for light as the metaphor, you know what I'm saying? Like something so simple that happens every day, but like when you go through a deep transformation, the appreciation you find in little things and like the
Mm-hmm.
little miracles that happen every day when you're awake and you're just being present, like I think it's so beautiful and I think it's such an elevated state of being. um and just like when with the song Damage Gets Done, like he talks about, we think that these like physical earthly pleasures are going to make us happy when really the love that we had, the straight up empty we didn't have nothing and we were just so elated. Like that's kind of the vibes I get with First Light, but in a more like personal thing, like not with another person, like where you're just you're appreciating being alive and feeling air in your
Mm-hmm.
lungs, you know.
Yeah, he says, "Could this be how every day begins?" Which is so like cute because
Cute.
I don't know. Technically, when he's writing the song about descending into darkness and hell and depression, like, you know, we picture the little metaphorical version of Hozier that like hasn't seen sunlight in like fucking years and is like fucking emerged. But like, man's writing the song is like waking up every day, seeing the real sunshine. But like, when you're that depressed, like you aren't appreciating that, just like you said. But when you do come out of it, it's like the air does taste different. Like I know what you're talking about.
I love when he says, "One bright morning goes so easy. Darkness always finds you either way. It creeps into
Mm-hmm.
the corners as the moment fades. A voice from your body jumps to calling out your name. But after this, I'm never going to be the same and I'm never going
Never gonna
back
go back
again."
again.
Like, he's talking about just because I see the first light doesn't mean it's not going to be dark again. But, like, I have went through complete darkness. I've went through such a transformation of not having light for so long that I will, like, almost face the darkness that comes every night and I will know that the morning will be there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I wrote nothing down for this song, so I don't. I have like nothing to remind myself my ideas throughout the song. I don't know why I just stopped after Unknown.
Well, I feel like it's interesting because if he had not added First Light, this would have been a sad album. Like it would have ended sad.
Yes.
But adding First Light, I feel like was necessary to like show the whole point of the album about like transformation and rebirth. Which like I go back to the worms, like those little fuckers. Literally, like it's about like the decomposition of something that has died and turning it into life again and nutrients and like flowers blooming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm so happy he ended the album with First Light because the way that he talked about darkness and sadness in this album can really get you down as you continue to listen to it. And I'm not saying sad feelings aren't legit or real. It's just like I like that twist at the end that just because you went something through something that horrible doesn't mean there isn't good things to look forward to.
It's quite literally the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, like I
Yeah.
don't know, I feel so bittersweet about this album. Like, and I'm not saying in a way where I wouldn't want it to exist. Like I'm so happy to exist, but this album, and maybe it's because of what I'm going through, but this album like really makes me so sad yet so grateful that he would write this and put it into words and be so like intentional with every song he does and what order that he put it in. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this man's gonna like clap back from this. Like I don't know
Yeah,
how he's gonna make a better album than this. I'm sure he'll do it. I have no doubt. But still,
I
I
know. Like
my brain isn't there for him.
there's still songs that are icons from previous albums that Hozier's like released. But like I'm just talking about as an art piece, as a motion picture that I just watched in my head on repeat for the past few weeks that we've been covering this. It's probably my favorite, and I think it's just interesting because this is my first time that Hozier's album, I was like present enough and had my friends pointing at it like, "Hey, watch this, listen," and I was like, "Okay," and got to experience it firsthand. Maybe had I been that way with the earlier ones, I don't know. Maybe I'd be like a little too nostalgic and hung up over them. But like, And I'll give them that. There are icons in those albums, but like this is my favorite.
If I die, I want Hozier to be there.
We'll
Okay.
try our hardest.
Like I'm just saying, like I want to experience passing on with him in my presence.
Even if it's just an email, like Hozier, you can do it in Ireland. We don't care. Just like shout out up at the guy, please, please.
I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. I'm just saying, like I feel
I'll
like
get him in the hospital room.
I feel like he'd make it feel easier. You know, he'd make me feel like I'm all right. I can accept this. You know what
He'd
I'm
be
saying?
the son of Nyx.
Yeah.
I think that if you get terminally ill before 26, it could be a make a wish.
It could be a make wait because they cut it off at 26. No,
I think so.
no, I gotta meet Hozier a different way, guys. Wait, will he even be around if I die of old age? I don't know. I hope he will.
He's gonna live eternally. I don't know
Yeah,
what
you're
you're talking
right. Actually, I forgot he's immortal. So like,
He literally just made a whole album about dying, y'all, and how all things
No.
end, and y'all are.
he's not gonna die. He's not allowed to.
It's fine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get morbid like that. But anyways,
Why is my face so greasy? What the heck?
we've been here for a while, so I'm sorry, guys. Overall, did you guys loved it? Would you share it again with people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share it with Colin, get his ass to sit down for 2 seconds, but he keeps playing Sea of Thieves and getting me to play it. But like, damn, I would share it again.
I know I said that Wasteland Baby was my favorite still. I think that it's like a mix of both. There's like songs on here that I would prefer to listen to over Wasteland Baby, but there's songs on Wasteland Baby that I still can't get enough of.
You
So
still like change.
I can't get enough.
no, I didn't say that. I actually love when artists put out new albums because I always assume the next album is going to be my favorite.
That's what you said about Kid Quill.
Don't pull that out here.
Don't.
He can't hear that. He can't hear that.
Yeah, don't say that one.
An
That's
actual
not true.
celebrity that listens to our podcast.
Dude, shout out to Kid Quill.
If he happens to listen to the Hozier episode.
Don't ever take
If
opinion
Mariah
I
remembers
have
to not
against
cut it.
seriously, Kid Quill, because I like you and I think you are a light in this life and you need to keep doing the work that you're doing.
Yeah, if
alright?
you can't tell, we like Pisces artists.
Yeah. Pisces!
Yes, I would share this with someone else. I tried getting Cheyenne to listen to some of it. For our Chicago road trip, I put on Damage Gets Done, All Things End, and something else. But she's
Francesca?
dumb, and she couldn't get through the accent because she's like, I don't even know what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. And her friend Brianna was like, just listen. And she's like, I just can't understand what he's saying. And I was
Literally,
like,
hold up the Spotify lyrics and be like, "This is your homework." The rest of the
yeah, that's what Brianna tried telling her, but Cheyenne's not gonna do that. She doesn't care enough.
bro.
Well,
Watch your tongue. She's a hater.
I wanted to end the Hozier podcast with this thing. You guys could say something else after. I don't care. I just wanted to make sure I got out before forgetting. Is that, like I said, this album has been hard for me to listen to, and it's been a lot of like just accepting that things end and things don't go the way that you want them to go, and that it's very sad. And although I'm not listening to it as much as I'd like to, I'm looking forward to the future of when I can put this album on and I can feel like I am past that point in my life where you go through that really intense transformation and you can actually look back like the what song was it? He said it looks back, it hurts, but no, abstract when he says
The memory hurts, but it does me no harm.
yes. Thank you. I fucking.
You're
wish I remembered.
welcome. I apologize, Kinsey. I feel like my Scorpio 12th house and my Scorpio moon has been listening to this album on repeat, like a true crime documentary. Like, it shouldn't bring me comfort, but it does.
I feel like it will bring me more comfort when I'm not in this phase of my life, and I think I'll literally start baby crying when I put on this album, maybe like in a year or so, and I can know that I'm not in that part of my life anymore, even though I'm still so grateful for this part of my life.
You should get a vinyl record, just the record part. And then when you get a vinyl record player in a year's time, you pull it out, wipe the dust off, pull it out of the sleeve for the first time, put it on, and experience it again for the first time. Hey, isn't that interesting? First light, we come back around. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that it was a really hard album for Hozier to write, so I can imagine the feelings that he is putting into words, hurting people who are going through whatever, like, same emotions that he went through writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
Oh my God.
So
I love this man so much. I'm sorry. And I will be meeting him. And I hope I get more than 5 minutes to talk to him because I love him so much.
I feel so guilty, like, not knowing the second half as much. Had I been this passionate about it on the last episode, I feel like I would have had so much more to say. And I think some of them are just first impressions, and I hope that the listeners understand that and that I still appreciate it. If anything, I appreciate knowing more about some of the songs. But, that's just what song and music and art is about, so. But, still my favorite.
Experiencing it more. Yeah.
So, what are we showing next week, guys?
Next week we are watching the live action Little Mermaid because it's on Disney Plus, and I wanted to watch this when it was in theaters, but we just didn't have time. So I decided to kill 2 birds, 1 stone, and make you watch it and then talk about it on the podcast.
Yep. So Mariah and I met up to watch it today, and then we played Mancala instead, and I got to beat her twice.
Rough.
So I'm excited. I've heard very mixed reviews about the film. I personally did not grow up as a Little Mermaid girly, but this film obviously important for me in my culture.
Do it for the culture.
Do it for the culture.
Hi.
And I heard that it was like a really cute romance. Like I didn't really like the Little Mermaid that much growing up. I didn't like the romance that much. Like, it wasn't there.
I agree. I actually agree with Mariah.
Romance wasn't that good, but I like mermaids. Sorry.
But I heard this one had some really good romance with it. She was barely a mermaid in the movie.
But my autistic ass wanted to watch the moment when she was.
That's fine. I mean, I watched Peter Pan. They had mermaids, and they were in there for 2 seconds.
I know. Yes.
Okay, wait. Mariah's autistic Disney flick as a child was Peter Pan. Mine was Alice in Wonderland. Something about all the food and colors. I could taste it all.
I was very afraid of Alice in Wonderland, but I would still put it on because I wanted to taste the foods and the colors. So
yeah, it has to be pre 3D time though, so pre Frozen.
Kaylin, I think it's the Scorpio in us. We're like this magical land that's actually secret, dark, and terrifying.
I have to pick my favorite. I have to pick my favorite Disney movie before they had the 3D ones.
Yeah, because I feel like that's definitely like whatever one was your autistic. Also, Aristocats was.
I think for me it was Hercules because I would pause the movie when they'd show me all the Greek gods and I wanted to see each one, but they pan over them so fucking quickly.
Yeah, they do.
That's a really good one for you, and I'm happy you mentioned that this podcast. And I didn't see Hercules until I was a grown adult. I was 18 when I saw it.
I loved Hercules, and honestly, Hercules and Meg have so much fucking chemistry for a Disney movie like they do.
Before I'd even seen Hercules, I had that song on repeat on Spotify. Well, both of them, Go to the Distance and Meg's song.
When I'm feeling down on myself.
I posted that song on her story, actually. She said, Go to the Distance, and I was like...
When I'm feeling down on myself and I need to pick me up, I got my little playlist that's like for my low vibe days, but that's my always go-to.
Dude, yeah, you posted that, and I was really like, that is such a vibey song, bro. Like...
Yep, it reminds me that no matter how hard my life is, that I can do whatever I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to be streaming Little Nightmares 3 soon, guys. So, as soon as we
we're just like putting out our entire schedule now.
I'm talking to the fucking viewers right now.
I've got work.
Excuse me. Anyways, as I was saying, when we get this streaming shit set up to our loyal and devoted viewers, listeners, you will be viewing us as we stream on, I think, Twitch, whatever. We'll get back to you. But that's a little nugget, something to look forward to. We love Little Nightmares, so I'm very excited.
You should drop this again next time at the beginning of the podcast because most people don't listen to a full podcast.
All right,
I'll drop it. I'll see my ships get sunk in Sea of Thieves.
I'll drop it at the beginning of the next podcast because we will be streaming within the next month, and we're going to be doing it, and it's going to be fun.
When does Little Nightmares 3 come out?
No, we're not going to be streaming Little Nightmares 3. I'm saying
we want to do the first and the second one.
We're going to start streaming in general very soon because we're hilarious, and I want people to see us. So, there you go, guys. That's the end of the podcast today.
Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
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 Kaylin always be...